Whether you are a believer or a full-blown skeptic, haunted locations are bone-chilling places that can freak out even the most scientifically minded of people. Many people from all over the world have had many run-ins with the supernatural and paranormal. So today, here at Unexplained Mysteries, we'll be taking a look at haunted locations and the events which have occurred there. Dr. Gallagher and demonic possession. Psychiatrist Dr. Richard Gallagher offers a view on demonic possession far from the usual narrative science offers us. Gallagher studied at Yale University, on a linear career path studying medicine, a man of science who believes wholeheartedly in demonic possession. The doctor is well educated to say the least, with an Ivy League past and teaching now at both Columbia University and New York Medical College, so it isn't a lack of faith in science that has contributed to his belief that demonic possession is real. Before embracing the ideas of possession and exorcism, Gallagher dismissed accounts of demonic possession, such as biblical recounts of specific events, as early attempts to explain disorders that we had little medical information surrounding, such as epilepsy. Today, Gallagher tells quite a different story, believing he has encountered more cases of possession than any other physician, and building a reputation as a consultant on various instances of demonic possession. Throughout the United States, Gallagher has become the go-to person when an exorcism is needed, distinguishing between mentally ill patients and genuine victims of demonic possession. Some of the evidence Gallagher has seen firsthand that these possessions are, as he calls them, the real thing, includes the victim having an unexplainable knowledge of people or secrets that they simply shouldn't be able to know, seeing sacred items fly off of shelves and having their sudden ability to speak in perfect Latin, what some would call an archaic and extinct language. Colleagues of Gallagher's described the tone in which he talks about possession to be dry, clinical, and matter-of-fact. The straight-laced attitude only strengthens the serious approach Gallagher has to these exorcisms. They aren't a scene from a horror movie. This is real life. Critics describe these Latin-speaking victims and other alleged demonic happenings that Gallagher claims to have seen as nothing more than cheap parlor tricks conducted by people in need of therapy. Gallagher's rebuttal is rooted in the personal experiences and first-hand witnessing of possessed individuals. One notable event includes the demonic possession of a woman in a chapel. As many iconic films would have you believe, nuns and priests surrounded the woman, praying in an attempt to remove the demonic spirit. The woman demonstrated some odd behaviors, supporting the idea that she was possessed, including appearing to fall into a trance and speak in multiple voices, one being a deep masculine voice, one a high-pitched tone, and the final voice speaking solely in fluent Latin. The voices would speak in third person, at one point exclaiming, "Leave her alone, priests," shortly being followed by, "Stop, you'll be sorry." The defining, most stereotypical aspect of this possession was an aversion to holy water. When the victim was sprinkled with standard ordinary water, she had no reaction. But when the same process was repeated with holy water, the victim screamed in pain. The Catholic scientist did not always believe in demonic possessions, but Dr. Gallagher insists that science and religion have a place side by side, and that the scientific method can provide answers so long as you follow the facts regardless as to where they're leading you. Braley Pond, Virginia. Next up is Braley Pond, which has been a popular campground in Virginia, USA. It's more specifically located in George Washington National Forest and has been known for its mysterious activity. Many have claimed that other campsites within the park are haunted as well, but Braley Pond is associated with chilling stories. Visitors describe the pond as tranquil and serene. At first, that is. The hauntings began after a horrific attack took place in 2003 when a local gang member attacked a 19-year-old boy before dumping his body in the water. A visitor also took their own life in the same spot in the park. Ever since, people have felt eerie energy and spirits at Braley Pond, but it doesn't stop there. Other encounters with spirits have taken place closer to the pond itself, where people have witnessed ghosts hovering above the water and heard children's voices in the distance. Many ghost hunters have made their way to the most haunted campsite in Virginia and have left fearing for their lives. One of the most unusual aspects and feelings visitors get when visiting this campsite and pond is a sudden burst of nausea and disorientation. This has happened many times to hikers with no previous information surrounding the hauntings at Braley Pond. The pond specifically is truly haunting. People have reported a feeling of being watched, seen the water splash about whilst no one is in it, and some have experienced a strange calling to jump into the water. One paranormal researcher who visited in 2006 took their own life shortly after, leaving us to wonder if it had something to do with Braley Pond. Another paranormal researcher by the name of Shay Willis experienced extremely unusual activity whilst spending time at the campsite one evening. She had that nauseous feeling and saw activity in the water, but also witnessed a green orb in the sky. She was there with another researcher who had a sudden feeling that something was watching them and was pulled into the water. As they made their way back to the truck, Willis felt tentacles on her and screamed for her partner to get them off, but there was nothing there. She continued to feel the tentacles and have vivid dreams about the experience for weeks afterwards. This leads us to question what is in the water. Are there spirits haunting the Braley Pond and campsite? Are they out to get people who are simply passing by? We may never know, but one thing is for sure. You certainly wouldn't want to be left there alone overnight. Greenwood Cemetery, Washington State. Washington State is one of America's most stunning states. Both the Blue and Rocky Mountain ranges weave their way through Washington and are surrounded by beautiful valleys out towards the Pacific coast. Given the state's scenic nature, you'd be forgiven for assuming that this beauty would also be reflected in places which incorporated nature into their design, such as cemeteries, national parks, and zoos. And on the face of it, this is true for Greenwood Cemetery, officially Greenwood Memorial Terrace, located in Spokane, US. The cemetery itself is set openly on two sides of a fairly main road. It's littered with tall evergreens, which conceal a large portion of the cemetery once the road twists away from the main site. As idyllic as it may look, however, Greenwood Cemetery hides a sinister story in its park-like grounds. The Greenwood Staircase is noted as one of Spokane's haunted sites. When created in the late 1800s, the cemetery was initially meant to be a large garden modelled upon the European garden cemeteries of the Victorian era. Naturally, this meant that fancy landscaping was aplenty in the garden, which exists to this day. It is thought that the original entrance to the garden, which saw its first burial on July 1, 1888, was a large staircase with a mausoleum at the top. However, over the years, alternative entrances were created, and the stairs were slowly left to rot alongside the mausoleum. Despite renovation works, the stairs are hardly used today, and perhaps that's for the best given some of the stories that they have originated. This ancient staircase is thought to be haunted in a few different ways. Legend has it that if you climb the stairs, through the overgrowth and brambles, you'll be accompanied by the voices of the deceased from the cemetery. As you attempt to reach the top, the deceased will rise from the grave and meet you on the staircase. In a devilish attempt to stop you from reaching the top, they'll overcome you with haunting feelings, poltergeist behavior, and one or two seriously big scares. The staircase has been dubbed as having the effect of climbing 1,000 steps, as those who climb it will allegedly never reach the top, either turned back by the paranoia and fear created by the ghouls, or perhaps due to something more sinister. Thought to have been used for dark satanic rituals throughout history, those who have for some reason climbed the stairs in the night have allegedly experienced this paranormal activity. But if you do manage to make it to the top of the stairs, you are rewarded with a breathtaking view of Spokane County in all its beauty. Dow Hill. Dow Hill of Kurseong is located 30 kilometers from Darjeeling and is known to be the most haunted hill site in India. While the hill is known for its beautiful scenery, orchid gardens, woodland and tea plantations, there seems to be a darker side that comes out at night. It is believed that multiple loss of lives has occurred in the area that affect the energy of the land to this day. Much of the paranormal activity occurs on a road between the Dow Hill Road and the Forest Office. Allegedly, local woodcutters have spotted the ghost of a headless boy walking around the forest. The ghost of a woman dressed in all grey has also been reported. Many visitors to the hill experience a constant sense of being watched by something unseen or by a red eye. Some people carry the feeling of being followed with them for the rest of their lives, even far away from the hill. It is not uncommon for guests to get lost in the woods, lose their sanity, or take their own life. There is also a haunted school on the hill that is 100 years old called Victoria Boys High School. Loud whisperings and footsteps can be heard around the school, even during the vacation seasons. The physical details of the hill certainly do not improve the creepy vibe of the area. The weather is mainly foggy, it is often mainly silent, and there are no streetlights to guide you through the darkness. One local member described the hill as the perfect setting for a horror movie. Thanks to these hazy conditions, the hill can be dangerous even without extraterrestrial happenings. But what do you make of these haunted locations and the stories they hold? Be sure to let us know your thoughts in the comment section below and help us by growing this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.